here to talk about general weed control principles, herbicide resistance management, and a number of other topics.
The question often comes up, how long is my residual herbicide actually going to last? Here are 5 ways to try and increase that length of residual control.
First, we'll talk about what happens when you spray something pre-emergence, right after planting or right around planting. And the amount of rainfall that you get for activation after you've applied and before the weeds start coming up is absolutely critical. For a herbicide like Acuron, you've got to have at least that ½ of rainfall to really get the most bang for your buck. Another factor that can impact how long your residual herbicide is going to last is the weed pressure and what type of weeds you have out there. If you've got a tremendous amount of individuals in the field, you're simply not going to last as long with that residual herbicide. Also, as mentioned, the particular weed species that's in the field can also impact how long that residual herbicide is going to last. A great example of this would be water hemp. It's a small-seeded broadleaf weed species. Water hemp, we can generally get fairly good control for a pretty long amount of time. When we start to look at giant ragweed, that weed's really tough to control. It germinates from deep in the soil profile. We may expect a little bit less residual control, especially if we have a high population of giant ragweed in the field. Another aspect that can influence how long a residual herbicide may last is the rate that's used. If you use a full use rate, that's the best you can do in terms of how long that residual herbicide is going to last. But if you start to take it down to a foundation rate, use 3/4 of a use rate or a half use rate, essentially you're just planning on failure and you're going to have to follow it up with a post-emergence option. There are a number of factors that can influence how long our residual herbicides and our post-emergence applications can last. One factor is how much canopy closure we have. If we're spraying our post-emergence, when we have some really small soybeans and we're overlapping that residual herbicide, more than simply going to hit the ground. So we're going to get better residual control. Also, the type of herbicide that's used, also very critical. If we're using a herbicide like fameciphin, we get excellent residual control out of that fameciphin, especially on a lot of these amaranthus species.